Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Watching artificial intelligence evolve over the last couple of years has really felt a bit like watching a teenager grow up in fast forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, because first it was just, learning to talk, making up these wild stories just to get attention.
Now the hallucination phase.
Exactly. And then it got really good at taking tests, passing the bar exam, that sort of thing.
But you still couldn't exactly trust it with the car keys,
No. Not at all. But suddenly, it feels like we are waking up to this new reality where the technology isn't just a flashy chatbot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is putting on a suit, it's carrying a briefcase, and it's effectively becoming this reliable, autonomous coworker.
Which is a huge shift.
It really is.
Yeah.
So today, we are pulling from the Morningstar Tech Report, Anthropic's release notes, and real-world deployment data to answer one core question. Is AI finally ready to be left unsupervised?
I mean, that is the million-dollar question for everyone listening.
Right. Welcome to Connecting the Dots, broadcasting right here from Snarful Solutions Group in Sacramento, California. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
And today is Friday, May 29, 2026.
The best day of the week.
It really is. And before we start peeling back the layers on the tech news that is rapidly reshaping our digital world, let's get you caught up on the day.
Let's do it.
Locally, Sacramento is looking just absolutely gorgeous right now.
Stunning outside.
We've got partly sunny skies, sitting at a perfect 75 degrees, with a really nice, easy 8-mile-per-hour breeze.
Oh, it is the exact kind of weather that makes you want to just, cancel all your afternoon meetings.
Totally. Just walk away from the desk. Not a bad way to head into the weekend at all.
But for those of you tuning in from out of state, or if you're hitting the road for a weekend getaway, be aware that the national map is, it's a bit messy today.
Yeah, I saw that. Lots of red on the radar.
Exactly. There are currently 176 active U.S. weather alerts.
Wow.
Yeah, with 66 of those being over land. So definitely double check weather.gov if you are traveling today. Keep yourself safe out there before you get completely off the grid.
Good advice. And on the financial side of things, the markets are having a really solid week. Just showing some serious resilience right now.
Always nice to see green going into the weekend.
For sure. The Dow closed Thursday at 50,668.97.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's up slightly for the day, but impressively, it is up over 685 points for the week.
And the S&P 500 is following that positive trend too, closing Thursday at 7,563.63.
Not bad at all.
Over in the crypto space, though, things are a little more volatile, which, is pretty much par for the course.
Right, as usual. What's Bitcoin doing?
So Bitcoin saw a slight dip. It opened Friday at over $73,000, but then it dropped to around $72,867.
Okay, so just a little fluctuation.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still showing massive volume and keeping institutional investors very much on their toes.
Makes sense. And for our local sports fans, you actually got a bit of a breather on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a completely quiet night. There were no games yesterday for the SF Giants, the Oakland A's, or the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, wow. So a total blackout.
Pretty much. So if you were looking for an excuse to, actually talk to your family, or just turn off the TV and go to bed early, the universe basically handed you a free pass last night.
Well, speaking of high-stakes environments where you need absolute focus and endurance.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Digesting the sheer volume and complexity of the tech news dropping today requires a serious mental boost.
I am already heavily caffeinated and ready to go. Today's episode is brought to you by Strong Coffee, the premium instant coffee that tastes like a traditional brew, but is packed with 15 grams of protein, MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha. Get clean, sustained energy without the jitters. Use promo code SNARFL for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com.
All right, let's get into the Morningstar Tech Report.
Yes, let's do it. So we were framing everything today around that central narrative we teased at the top, right? The idea that AI is growing up.
Right. Moving past the awkward phase.
Exactly. And we've got 3 major stories today that when you string them together, they show this perfect logical sequence of evolution. Let's unpack this. Story number 1. Anthropic just dropped Opus 4.8.
They did.
And they did it incredibly fast. I mean, just 41 days after they released version 4.7.
Which is wild. That 41-day turnaround is practically light speed.
Yeah.
Even for the artificial intelligence industry, which already moves at a breakneck pace.
Well, because historically, software development cycles take years, right?
Exactly. Even Anthropic's previous models took anywhere from 3 to 7 months between major updates.
So why the rush this time?
They were under immense pressure. The reception to Opus 4.7 was quite chilly, to say the least.
People weren't impressed.
No. Power users were really underwhelmed by the incremental gains. Combine that with OpenAI pushing out GPT 5.5 and Google launching Gemini Flash and Anthropic, they had to make a move.
Right. They couldn't afford to lose the mind share of developers.
Exactly. But the standout feature of Opus 4.8 isn't just raw brute force intelligence.
Which is what everyone usually focuses on.
Right. But this time, it is honesty.
Okay, honesty. Explain that.
So Anthropic is heavily promoting that this new model is 4 times less likely to let code flaws pass by unremarked.
Wait, really? 4 times?
Yeah. It proactively flags uncertainties. It actually tells you when there is a fundamental issue with your inputs instead of just, blindly guessing.
Which is huge, right? Because historically, the biggest flaw with large language models is that they are chronic people pleasers.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They operate on probability.
Yeah.
Just predicting the next most likely word.
Right. So if they don't have the factual data, that probability engine will just confidently hallucinate an answer just to satisfy whatever prompt you gave it.
Exactly. But Opus 4.8 introduces an internal validation layer.
Okay.
It actually evaluates the weight of its own evidence.
Wow.
Yeah. So if that internal confidence score is too low, the system is designed to push back. It essentially raises its digital hand and says, the premise of your question is flawed, or I don't have enough data to solve this safely.
I love the analogy of the wildly confident intern for this.
Yes.
It's so accurate.
Because we've all worked with one, right?
For sure.
The intern who nods aggressively when you give them a complex task, they disappear for 3 days, and then they come back with a massive project that is completely wrong.
Because they were too afraid to just ask a clarifying question.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Opus 4.8 is like that intern finally learning the magic phrase. I don't know, let me double check that.
It's exactly like that.
But wait, though. We've spent the last 2 years hyper-fixating on AI hallucinations. Now you're telling me a massive hedge fund is just handing over its financial modeling.
Yep.
What actually changed in the math to make it suddenly reliable enough for high finance?
Well, that is the multi-billion-dollar question for the enterprise world right now.
Right.
What changed is the shift from mere text generation to logical verification.
Okay, so verifying the logic, not just the words.
Right. Take Bridgewater Associates. They are one of the biggest hedge funds in the world.
Right, huge players. They were early closed-door testers for this, and their testimonial specifically highlighted this new honesty feature.
Because in finance, mistakes are expensive.
Exactly. In financial analysis, if an AI hallucinates a single decimal point or misunderstands a correlative trend, it could cost millions of dollars.
Just instantly vanished.
Yep. So Bridgewater reported that the biggest differentiator with 4.8 wasn't its speed, it was the model's tendency to proactively flag conflicting data within the financial inputs themselves.
Oh, so it's looking at the numbers they provided and saying, hey, this doesn't add up.
Yes, it was catching underlying data issues that human analysts usually have to spend days hunting for.
That is wild. It is functioning less like a search engine and more like a fiduciary.
Exactly. And it's not just finance either, it's the legal field too.
Right, the benchmark scores.
Yeah. Opus 4.8 delivered the highest score ever recorded on the legal agent benchmark.
Wow.
It's the first model to actually break the 10% overall mark on the all-pass standard.
Which is a really tough standard.
Oh, incredibly tough. It requires flawless execution across these really dense, multi-step legal reasoning tasks.
So for the working professionals listening right now, this translates directly into how much real substantive work you can confidently just hand off to the AI.
Absolutely. And to help professionals manage that handoff, Anthropic introduced a fascinating new feature called effort control.
Effort control, like controlling how hard it works.
Basically, yeah. Users on the platform can now use a slider to dictate how hard the AI should think.
Oh, that's cool.
Under the hood, this controls the token usage. Think of tokens as the AI's unit of thought, kind of like syllables or individual concepts.
Right, the building blocks.
Exactly. So if you just need a quick email drafted, you set the slider to low effort. It responds instantly and uses very few tokens.
Because it doesn't need to ponder the deep meaning of a Tuesday meeting invite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you have a massive complex engineering problem, you crank that slider up to max. You are literally giving the AI a larger budget of computational thoughts to spend on solving your problem, ensuring the answer is rigorously cross-checked before it gives it to you.
So you are basically getting the steering wheel for your computational budget.
Exactly.
That is incredible. And that honesty feature in Opus 4.8 isn't just a neat trick, it is the foundational prerequisite for Anthropic's next major announcement.
Right, which is huge.
Because you simply cannot let an artificial intelligence work completely on its own if it can't catch its own mistakes.
Exactly.
But because Opus 4.8 can do that, it unlocks what Anthropic is calling dynamic workflows. So let's look closer at this shift.
Yeah, this is where we cross a Rubicon from, helpful digital assistant to autonomous workforce.
It's a big jump.
It really is. Dynamic workflows, which are integrated into the new Claude code, allow the AI to tackle unbelievably large-scale, multi-day problems.
Instead of just one prompt, one answer.
Exactly. Instead of you giving the AI one prompt and waiting, Claude can take a massive architectural project, independently break it down into hundreds of smaller tasks, and then spin up hundreds of sub-agents to work on them all simultaneously.
Okay, to really understand the scale of this, we need to look at the real-world example of Jared Sumner.
Yes, the Bun project.
Right, so he is the creator of Bun, which is a highly popular software toolkit for developers. And he needed to rewrite Bun from a programming language called Zig into a different language called Rust.
Which is a massive undertaking.
For anyone listening who isn't a software engineer, porting a massive code base from one language to another isn't just a matter of swapping out vocabulary.
No, not at all.
You are translating entire paradigms of how a computer manages memory and processes commands. It is a grueling, notoriously tedious endeavor. Usually it takes a team of engineers months, if not years, to complete.
And it is incredibly prone to human error.
Oh, completely.
Because maintaining focus over hundreds of thousands of lines of syntax it's nearly impossible for the human brain.
We just get tired.
Right. But using dynamic workflows, the AI orchestrated this entire rewrite. We're talking about 750,000 lines of code.
750,000? That's insane.
The system spawned hundreds of AI agents working in parallel. So, one group of agents mapped out the new memory rules required by Rust. Another group translated the files side by side.
So instead of one genius trying to write a book in a locked room, it's like a writer's room at a TV network.
I like that analogy.
One agent pitches an idea, another agent looks for plot holes, a third checks the continuity, and they just argue until the script is airtight.
Exactly. And an automated fix loop just ran the software tests over and over until they all passed.
And the final result, 750,000 lines ported in exactly 11 days.
Just 11 days.
With 99.8% of the tests passing. 11 days for a project that should have taken a year.
It's mind-boggling speed.
But I gotta ask, if we have hundreds of AI agents rewriting a company's software in the cloud while we sleep, aren't we just automating the creation of massive hidden bugs?
Oh, that is the fear.
Like, if nobody human is watching the construction crew, how do we know the house won't just collapse the moment we move in?
Well, that anxiety is exactly what has kept chief technology officers up at night for the past year.
I bet.
But the genius of the dynamic workflow system is that it is built with intentional internal friction.
Friction. Like they slow it down on purpose.
Sort of. The agents do not just blindly agree with whatever the lead agent suggests. They are built using adversarial prompting.
Okay.
So some agents are specifically instructed to try and break or refute the code generated by the other agents.
Oh, so they're playing devil's advocate.
Exactly. They relentlessly test each other's work from independent angles, arguing mathematically until the answers converge on a proven solution. It's basically a hyper-accelerated peer review system.
That is so smart. And the broader global business world is really pouncing on this shift toward agentic workflows. It goes way beyond just Anthropic.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere now.
Look at Tokyo-based Data Section. They just announced a massive integration of OpenAI into their Taizea cloud platform.
Which is a huge deal for that region.
Right, because Taizea is specifically engineered for governed enterprise workflows in the Asia-Pacific region, and the financial market went absolutely wild for this news.
I saw that stock jump.
Yeah, Data Section's stock surged 19.46% in a single day, closing at $38.55 with more than double its average trading volume.
And Wall Street reacted with that level of enthusiasm entirely because of the word governed.
Right. Governed is the key word there.
Data Section isn't just handing large Asian conglomerates raw access to an OpenAI chatbot. Enterprises actively reject that model because it is a total compliance nightmare.
Oh, totally. You can't just send proprietary Japanese banking data or like regional healthcare records to an open server in California.
Exactly. Taysa solves this by wrapping the AI in strict data sovereignty, identity management, and audit controls.
It essentially maps the AI's actions directly to a company's existing security protocols.
Precisely. So if an AI agent accesses a database to generate a financial report, Kaius logs that action just as it would for a human employee.
So it leaves a paper trail.
Right. The AI inherits the permissions of the user. The employees aren't just chatting anymore. They are deploying highly capable AI agents inside strictly regulated business pipelines.
With a heavily documented audit trail for every single digital nail they hammer.
Exactly. The enterprise world is declaring loudly, we want the unprecedented speed of AI, but we demand rigorous safety and compliance.
But that brings up a really scary point. The more code these agents write, and the deeper they integrate into our enterprise systems, the more attack surface we create.
Definitely.
The more doors and windows we build into our digital houses, the more vulnerable we are to break-ins.
That is the trade-off.
Which brings us to the final piece of today's technological puzzle. If AI is going to be autonomously writing millions of lines of code while we sleep, we need an incredibly powerful, tireless security guard to watch over it all.
We do.
And that is our third story today, the upcoming public rollout of Anthropic's Mythos class models.
Now, to really grasp why the tech community is buzzing so hard about this, you have to look back at what happened in April.
Right, there was some drama.
A bit, yeah. Anthropic actually finished developing the Mythos architecture months ago, but they made this unprecedented decision to withhold it from the public.
They just locked it away.
Yeah. They restricted access because the model was, quite frankly, too dangerous to release into the wild.
Now, when you say too dangerous, people immediately picture science fiction, right? Like an AI going rogue and trying to take over the world.
The Terminator scenario.
Exactly. But the reality is much more grounded and honestly much more immediate.
Yeah. Mythos wasn't dangerous because it had a villainous personality. It was dangerous because it was unbelievably surgically good at finding hidden software bugs. If a malicious hacker got their hands on Mythos back in April, they could have used it to instantly scan and discover zero-day vulnerabilities in banking systems, hospital networks, or municipal power grids.
So they could have weaponized those bugs before any human engineer even knew they existed.
Exactly. In cybersecurity, there is a concept known as the attacker's advantage.
What's that?
Well, it basically means it takes significantly less effort to find one broken window than it does to secure an entire skyscraper.
Right. It's easier to break things than fix them.
Exactly. Anthropic realized that if they released Mythos without safeguards, the attackers would win that short-term race decisively.
So instead of a public launch, they quietly formed Project Glasswing.
Yes.
They brought together a coalition of some of the biggest tech giants on the planet. I'm talking Apple, Microsoft, Google, Cloudflare, Amazon.
A total powerhouse team.
They sat these fierce competitors at the same table to test Mythos in a highly secure defensive environment.
And the fact that those companies agreed to collaborate tells you everything you need to know about the stakes here.
Seriously. And the success of Project Glasswing is just staggering. Listen to this statistic from Cloudflare. Using the Mythos preview on their own internal infrastructure, they found 2,000 hidden software bugs.
2,000.
Almost 400 of those were classified as high severity or critical vulnerabilities. And the crucial detail here is that these weren't false alarms.
Which is the holy grail for cybersecurity professionals.
Right, because usually there's so much noise.
Tons of noise. Usually automated testing tools throw up thousands of false positives. The system cries wolf over every little anomaly or unusual line of code.
And then human engineers quickly suffer from alert fatigue.
Oh, absolutely. They burn out trying to verify them all, and they end up missing the real threats.
But Mythos is different.
Completely different. It doesn't just look for known patterns of malware. It actively reasons through the execution paths of the code.
So it actually understands what the code is trying to do.
Yes. And because of that deep reasoning capability, it had an incredibly low false positive rate. It was pointing out actual exploitable holes.
Wow.
Some partners in the Glasswing program saw their valid bug discovery rates jump by 10 times compared to normal human-led penetration testing.
So why are we talking about an April secret project today?
Well,
Because Anthropic announced, alongside the Opus 4.8 release, that they have finally developed and implemented the necessary defensive safeguards for Mythos.
exactly. The model is no longer a liability. It is a shield.
They are preparing to bring these Mythos-class models to all their enterprise customers in the coming weeks. The ultimate digital immune system is finally ready for deployment.
And what this means for you, the listener, and for families and professionals everywhere is a massive, invisible upgrade to the infrastructure of your daily life.
Yeah.
You might never open an app and interact directly with a Mythos model, but it will be the silent digital guardian protecting your bank routing numbers, securing the complex software running the monitors at your local hospital, and locking down the personal photos and data on your smartphone.
It provides the necessary counterbalance to the massive rapid expansion we talked about in the first two stories.
Right. They go hand in hand.
You simply cannot have AI agents safely building millions of lines of new software in a matter of days unless you also have an AI security guard capable of inspecting every single line of that new code just as fast.
We are essentially watching the birth of a fully self-correcting digital ecosystem.
We really are.
Before we wrap up, a quick thanks to Old Glory, an iconic music and sports fan merch store, perfect for the teppy in your life. Use promo code SNARFL for 15% off at oldglory.com.
All right, let's take a step back and recap the journey we've been on today because it paints a really clear, fascinating picture of where our economy and our tools are headed.
It really does.
The evolution of artificial intelligence is happening in a very specific logical sequence. First, the AI had to learn to tell the truth, right? To evaluate its own certainty and to admit when it doesn't know something.
Right, that is the honesty of Opus 4.8.
Exactly. And second, once you establish that baseline of reliability, you can hand over the reins.
Yep.
You can trust the system to manage massive, week-long corporate engineering projects using hundreds of sub-agents safely integrated into governed enterprise systems.
Which is the reality of dynamic workflows and regional platforms like Taisei.
Yes. And finally, to protect this rapidly expanding digital frontier from bad actors, you deploy the ultimate automated cybersecurity defense to lock it all down.
And that is Mythos.
Truth, scale, and security. But here's a thought I want to leave you with, something to mull over as you head into your weekend and digest all this rapid change.
We always appreciate a good, lingering question to chew on.
If artificial intelligence becomes the ultimate tireless builder of our digital world, writing the code, porting the software, running the workflows, and it simultaneously becomes the ultimate eagle-eyed security guard protecting that same world. At what point do human engineers shift from being the actual creators of technology to simply being the managers of an entirely AI-run ecosystem? Like, are we watching the sunset on human coding as a primary profession?
Wow. That is a deeply provocative thought. I mean, the tools are undeniably changing the core definition of the job.
They really are. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.